This is going to be the biggest crypto alt season of our lifetime. Bitcoin has broken the cycle. I gotta put him up to 175.
This is not to get your hopes up.
Not to get my hopes up.
We are currently in what has really, this is the craziest, weirdest, most intensest cryptocurrency cycle that we've ever been in. I needed to do gigantic parentheses just because people keep telling us that the cycles no longer exist. Ooh, disappeared into the ether or something like that. We are apparently, and this is because of the, not joking, because of the regulatory clarity, because of the bills that got signed this summer, because of the institutions. This one makes a little bit more sense for my brain.
Yeah.
Because of the institutions, because of the, it was like 30 banks. Did everyone remember that one? Yeah. Don't forget that. We had so much news this summer about banks within the United States, in Canada, in Mexico, in Norway, in Germany, in all those other places, buying up hugely excessive amounts of Bitcoin. We had stuff about universities buying up Bitcoin. We had stuff about countries buying up Bitcoin.
Yeah, we had fucking countries talking about putting it in their sovereign wealth fund. I think to even that extent.
It does make sense. The news now is, on top of everything else, that we are apparently, we're in a cycle, but it's not a 4-year cycle. It's just something that kind of like will be moving forward in some capacity. If you didn't see, this was like 3 weeks ago as well, someone mentioned they think that we're going to still have cycles, but they just won't be as dramatic.
Yeah.
If you have...
Well, that's the thing. That's the whole theory. When it's not even a theory. It's literally just when it happens. When the utility kicks in, these cycles aren't going to affect it as much because the project is literally having to be used because of its utility. It's now a fucking asset that does something.
25 countries, 35 banks.
Doesn't mean there won't still be fluctuations. There absolutely will be.
And all these new billionaires who enter the market in January.
Oh, you hit my
when they see a dip in, remember the dip we just had and it was like undipped really fast? If you have a dip in the market,
we're already back.
They're not going to just wait on the sidelines to see if someone else buys before them.
Man,
so the idea would be...
They're the ones fucking coordinating this shit, coming and scooping it up pennies on the dollar. Dude, we just saw the video yesterday that I posted a day or two ago about Fidelity. Oh, now they're doing Solana spot trading. You got to ask yourself, why? And then they pull up the video of the guy talking about how when FTX collapsed, they had to sell their assets for fucking pennies on the dollar, and Fidelity came in. Oh, we'll scoop up a shit ton of Solana for a good price. Now that we're positioned, now we'll offer it to the plebs.
Is that we wouldn't have any more 90% like prolonged drops over the course of 3 years? Because all the investors are like, well, they're buying, she's buying, blah, blah. We all have to buy at the exact same time. That's kind of this idea. We have someone else who has joined the ring, and I said this a few videos ago, and I'm going to repeat it again. If we do not have a multi-year bull cycle, I'm going to be very angry.
He's already been kind of angry, dude. I feel bad. He, a while ago, if anyone watches this guy, he's an OG. He's been in the space forever. And he had to liquidate a bunch of his positions he's accumulated over the years for, he said, personal reasons, whatever. You got to do what you got to do, man. But I heard that and I was like, oh, man, dude. Because we're right at the finish line. We're right there before this stuff actually takes off. Someone compared the XRP chart to Amazon stock. I know. These are just interesting things to look at. It's not fucking verbatim anything. You should understand this. But the Amazon stock hit like an all-time high of $5, retraced, traded sideways for like years, and then it bang up and to the right only since then, because that seems exactly what happened.
I've heard this news. We have been told cycle's over. All we're going to have now is basically just a bunch of prosperous next few years.
Remember all the $50,000
Ethereum in 2028, $100 XRP, $500,000 Bitcoin, $800,000 US dollar Bitcoin in 2028. You can't get there if prices have fallen down, and everyone's chart keeps showing that price is going to go up. The founding partner of a company called Swissborg has reiterated, is saying what everyone else is saying, and believes that the market is entering, and I quote, entering a multi-year structurally different bull market that could deliver generational wealth.
I'm so sick of hearing all this shit because I want it to happen already, dude. I think our patience is gonna be paid off so fucking immensely. I really do. I really do. That's why, like, yet again, when like I can't fathom, but people are new to the space. That's why they freak out when they see these sharp dips like the flash crash. I've been in this a long time. I've seen multiple of those, and every time. That's just the investment philosophy. Stocks, fucking anything. When there's blood in the streets, but you know what you hold, that's a discount, my boy. That's like hitting a fucking fire sale on Call of Duty for the mystery box. That's bang.
Bitcoin, laying out what he calls,
XRP,
he says that we are entering the altcoin season Bible. I don't know exactly what that means, but that's literally what he says. It is altcoin season Bible. He basically believes that we have entered into a brand new market because of all the money that we've seen entering this space. Makes a lot of sense.
How could it?
One of the
Fidelity,
largest
everybody.
narratives for him, and this kind of lines up, has to do with yield. This is going to be something that you are going to continuously hear about.
Yeah.
We recently had
That's
something
what
where
we
this guy
need.
was talking about real estate no longer
my
effectively
shoulder pop?
in the future being used as a complete store of value because we have Bitcoin. And I know that sounds a little bit insane. The idea has to do with Bitcoin DeFi and Bitcoin yield and Bitcoin staking.
If you can't earn from the asset, no one's gonna fucking use it when there's stuff like Solana and ETH out there that you can stake and get like 5 to 7%, like those ETFs that just launched. Someone just launched a yield Solana.
One of the major things that we've seen this year from institutions and from companies is remember, Bitcoin's boring. Bitcoin's so boring. We want Bitcoin to have a yield. Now that all these protocols are releasing and dropping, Bitcoin's going to have a yield. Ethereum has a yield. XRP is going to have a yield.
That's what we know.
When you can effectively hold an asset that you don't have to find a tenant for, that you don't have to clean, an asset that you don't really have to have any upkeep with, and it's making you 2 to 3% per year just sitting there, that's a gigantic game changer. As a company, if you can show on your balance sheet, we have $100 million worth of Bitcoin. The price goes up, we have $500 million worth of Bitcoin. And then you can also show your stakeholders, we made 3% just because Bitcoin was making passive income yield daily. For those of
Imagine we're at the point, dude, yet again, I talked about this in the video a couple of days ago, how much the space has evolved. It's insane. There are fucking digital asset treasury companies, dude. That's insane. Dude, XRP, we now have the largest digital asset treasury for XRP raising $1 billion to start.
those of you who don't know how many of the staking coins work, it's daily. It's not weekly. It's not seasonally. Daily. You show as a company, we made like $15 million from doing absolutely nothing. And then we use that $15 million to buy this asset or to buy this building or to do that. The valuation of your company begins to skyrocket.
Yeah,
With all these
for real.
institutions getting into the space, it basically sets the framework for all of this. He said, I really want to prove to everyone that this will be the biggest cycle and the biggest chance for everyone to generate generational wealth. I try not to be too harsh or too intense, even though I know I'm very intense and it always speaks in matters of life.
Lay into him.
It's difficult for me as an investor to try and get other people into markets that I know and I understand.
Yeah.
The cryptocurrency space is such a market where people can make huge amounts of money. And I don't want to say small, like a short period of time, but it kind of is that.
But yeah, no, that's what he's getting. No, it is. And yet again, we always preach, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. But it's like, you can't really say that to something like this statement because there are such like you gotta understand, because there are downsides like the flash crash and everything. But it's yet again, it's like once you understand what it is, that doesn't faze you.
That way, even if you whittle it down to a normal cycle of 4 years. So many retail investors don't know what's going on.
It's already
They're paying
made
attention to
people
other
so much
investments or other things that they think will help them. If cryptocurrency prices are indeed going to continue into infinitum, as we've constantly been hearing over and over,
Some of them are,
this is
I
kind of the market to be into.
Yeah.
Almost every day now, we're getting some kind of news analyst, economist announcing where prices are going for crypto. A lot of people, I think, sometimes stop at a certain number and say, okay, I'm done. I think the idea of Bitcoin being 100K makes sense to people. And I think a lot of people have in their mind that Bitcoin is going to 1 million and then kind of stopping like at the door, just won't be able to go.
That I know. He's talking to me right now in these types of videos when he always goes, people cannot imagine Bitcoin being 1 million, 2 million, $3 million. And I say it myself, though. I go, if it's going for it, it's going for it. But just yet again, with some reason with Bitcoin, I don't see how. But I understand all these sovereign wealth funds, all these governments have been stacking it. But we'll see.
Go any further. All the signs, all the news that we keep getting are pointing to the idea of Bitcoin being or the backbone of the future financial world that we have. You can't really disagree with me because I can show you 17,000 news articles that say exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We're going to enter a world where a lot of people are going to realize that they missed out. And then the problem is that they won't have really missed out. If XRP is going to $7, XRP is going to $70.
Oh, we saw this
Ethereum's
clip.
going to 10,000. Ethereum's probably going to 100K in case
If
you
it
missed those
wins,
other
it's
videos from
winning.
before. If Bitcoin's going to 500,000, it's probably going to 5 million. It's probably going to 14 million. I say probably because no one knows the future.
That's
So
what
the
I'm
idea
saying,
of-
dude, because XRP is the same sentiment as Bitcoin, but it's improved. That was what they wanted to achieve, a better Bitcoin, and they did it. And it's serving the utility. We see the groundwork being laid in front of our eyes for it.
I saw someone the other day on Twitter talking about it. They said, they're really annoyed at the idea of XRP's price being so high because they want to buy more. They want it back at 1 cent. And I'm like,
Yeah, we
if you
talked
think
about
that
this.
this current price is a lot, by the time it gets to $38, you're going to have a hard time. The other issue is if XRP is being used by all these central banks, it'll be $380 at some point. There's a lot of money to be made. This isn't a like a 1 year kind of game. Generational wealth is created over time. And crypto, you're able to make huge, massive stretches of money in a very like we're not talking about investing for like 27 and a half years into like a money market. And even like this is still the beginning of where all of this actually is.
It's before the beginning. That's what people still don't understand. And he's right. I'm not getting mad at him. I'm just getting fired up now. Where we don't have laws or rules yet.
Yeah, the article keeps going on and on and on. He's basically talking about like the bull cycle, and even after we have what is called the euphoria part of the cycle. That's where like you wake up and you've made $44,000. It happens. I promise you. Like this is how the market works.
Yeah.
He's expecting it to go higher. This is also the same exact thing with Samson Mao. Samson Mao was talking about like the Godzilla candles and the Omega candles. It's basically like movements of $10,000. Like there's no real like Bitcoin went up by $800. It's like only these mega movements, and that's what I am afraid of a lot of people missing out on as we move into this future, where basically Bitcoin and crypto look like they're going to take over all other financial assets. Yeah. Okie dokie. I think that's gonna do it for this video.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's the legend, bro, for real. Yeah, no, I agree with him. I think this alt season, whatever it is going to end up being, is going to blow people's balls over into the left. And I don't think a lot of people are ready for it. You really do have to be ready with an exit plan. You can't, like, I don't know. There's going to be a lot more forks in the road for crypto. Curveballs being thrown our way. You got to have an exit plan. You got to have a tax plan. And you can't piss away your wealth. That's the thing, dude. You got to be strategic with it. I think a lot of people in the XRP army get that, but there are, yet again, people just getting into it. It's not a you hit the lottery and it's over. It's like, because how many people you see that it's surprising, that don't know anything about money or just have spending problems and they lose it all. A lot, which is really crazy to me, because like if I ever came into wealth like that, like you'd want to hold on to that. You would not just want to piss it away willy-nilly. But that's why you got to know a little bit about what you're doing. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment, notifications. I got some exclusive videos up over on Patreon if you want to become a member of the Minutemen. That is the name of our subdivision of the XRP army. Over on Patreon, you can become one. And that's it. Appreciate you guys watching. I will see you in the next one.